on the next Starblood Chronicles.
Planet. When you are aware, you can tune into the different frequencies, remember who you are, and
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Starblood Chronicles. You know your host, Dragon Paw. I am here today to talk about contacting extraterrestrials as I have and what has worked for me. I'm gonna go through in this episode on what I've done and what you can do to raise your frequency to the highest point. Because in reality, the only way to actually be face to face in contact with them or any hybrid children, anything that isn't human, they have a very, very high frequency. And every time we come into contact with that frequency, because we're so much lower in vibration, most people will just freak out and pass out. Now, if you're like me and you want to remember the contact that you've already had and more contact to come, then you have to match them halfway with your vibration. And that's what this episode is about. First, I want to shamelessly plug my book again, Fostering a Future. You can find it on Amazon. It's about 3 foster children who go on an adventure to save the planet. And I also wanted to announce that my book made it into the local paper. So it's a really good children's book to help them understand how important nature is, because we are nature. So if you have kids or grandchildren, go ahead and get it on Amazon. Thank you. Now, let's begin. Conjuring ET Contact. I know you guys thought it was going to be like creepy or scary. It's really not. You just need to raise your vibration so they can actually come to you in person without you freaking warping your brain or your vibration and just knocking out and forgetting anything ever happened. So, first thing is first. CE5. I know some of you have heard of it, some of you use it. And I don't need to use it anymore, but when I first started, it really did pick up. And I mean, it picked up. I saw many craft that night, even things that might not even be craft. They could be actual beings of light, and they just zip through the sky faster than anything you've ever seen. So CE5 is an app created by Dr. Stephen Greer. Anyone could get it on their phone. I think it was $10 when I got it. It might be different now. 3. This is a new method of making contact, or at the very least, seeing a lot of moving craft in the sky. CE5 stands for Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. It's a peaceful, human-initiated way to connect with extraterrestrials and extra dimensionals. If you're new to this, there's many different dimensions. It's a multiverse, right? So you got extra dimensionals, and then an extraterrestrial is just a being that isn't from Earth, because Earth is Terra. So we are terrestrial. They are extraterrestrials if they aren't from our planet. That's all it is. The process uses meditation, clear intention, and frequency through different sounds. It's like sending out a beacon of light with your mind and your vibration. Your own vibration is the beacon. And they test to see how ready you are by calculating your frequency. When you use this CE5, you will see things. You might get images in the mind or even see very fast, high moving crafts in the sky at night. At night, so much easier to tell the difference in speed of human craft compared to other crafts. But you must be open-minded when you use it. You can't try to use it and have a total belief that it won't happen. It still might happen, but you got to be willing to accept seeing something like this that's different than what you're used to. You can trust me. They can tell whether you're ready or not. And if you're contracted already with an extraterrestrial being, then the time will come when it's time for you to see it, and you will. So I've gotten the most experiences with the crop circle tones. Those ones work. This tone works for me. It doesn't always happen right away. You must first meditate with love in your heart for about 10 to 15 minutes. Let the sounds just play the entire time. Once you're meditating, you just start it and you sink into your gamma stage, if you know how to do that. And really, really just be, if anything, be blank up here. If you're not used to meditating, then just think of thoughts that make you smile, or your family, anything that gives you good vibrations. That way your frequency jumps up a bit. Then that's when the fun starts to happen. The stars begin to dance. Fireballs, the fireballs shoot through the sky. You start to see how alive the sky truly is. Do your best to keep fear to a minimum. And I know that's going to be hard when you first start because you're not used to it. And I'm going to tell you of my experience where I was used to it and I still let a little bit of fear creep in. And you have to keep learning and building from that because they're going to keep testing you to see when you're truly ready to meet them. And you probably have. They're just not allowing you to remember it yet because you have to reduce fear a lot. So my experience using meditation and CE5, I saw the biggest craft I have ever seen. And this was in 2023, June 16th. I did the meditation and I was laying back on like one of those recliner lawn chairs that you see at resorts where you can lay flat. This is when out of the blackness, I see 3 perfect lights in a triangle shape coasting from behind me into my line of sight. It looked like a giant Dorito, and that's what I coined it, the Dorito craft. Mind you, behind me at this time, while I'm meditating, is the Pacific Ocean, not far at all. So my idea was it came from the bottom of the ocean. It was void. It was in the center of it. It was just voided of any color, not even stars. It was just black within this beautiful Dorito triangle, but every point had a light. That's the only way I could see that. It almost looked like a planchette if you think about a big planchette moving through the stars and cutting them out. The stars I couldn't see through the crap. So I'm looking at it in complete awe, of course. I'm like, there's no way this is happening right now. When this is when it suddenly stopped directly over me, and a little panic ran through my body. Then, as I'm calling, at that point, I start kind of trying to crawl out of the chair, and the craft shuts all its lights off, almost not simultaneously. It was like a quick little dimmer until they were all gone. And now I'm just seeing a triangle blacking out the stars right above me. And that's when I jumped out of the damn lawn chair and noped it straight to my room. That was the closest spaceship has ever been next to me. And I'm going to be honest. I flipped out and I thought I was ready at that point. But then you get conspiracy theories going through your head. And initially, the reason why I jumped is because I freaked myself out and I thought government. And I was like, oh hell no! Imagine what they're gonna do to me. And that was my bad. But I've learned more and more, and I'm getting to the point where I feel a lot more comfortable with beans because I could feel beans in my room almost all the time. So it's getting a lot easier. The fear is practically gone. These days, I don't even need CE5 anymore. I don't use it. I still have it on my old phone, but they just pop up whenever. Like if they know me or something, they're just like, boop, there it is. I'm like, oh. When I leave in the morning to the gym, I'll look up. Always at Orion's belt, I'm gonna see something. Not always, but a lot of the times. Yeah, so that was the largest craft that has ever been right above me. And I wouldn't say it filled the sky. It did not fill the sky. It took at least about a quarter of the center of the sky. Maybe. Maybe. It wasn't giant, but it was huge. Don't get me wrong about that. Okay. So now let's move to the formula that will raise your frequency and at the same time change your entire life. Oh yeah. And if you haven't, go check out some of my merch. You know, I'm still making new stuff, but there are some cool designs right now. You can make a sweater, you can make a shirt, you can put it on a apron if you want. Just go to this spread shop site. It should say Starblood Chronicles when you get there, and you can customize it any way you want. You could write any name on the back, on the front. It's kind of fun to make your own shirts or sweaters. So check it out. Okay, this section has nothing to do with CE5, but it has everything to do with raising your frequency. Now, when you put those together, it's a great concoction for conjuring extraterrestrial contact. So this is Bashar's formula that I've been using of following my passion. And what it is basically people have something that drives them in life that is not work related, because if it's your passion, then it won't feel like work. So for me, writing, doing these episodes, uh, fighting, I do compete. All of that is a passion generated, our passion generated activity. So now I will explain the steps and give you examples of what has worked for me to give you all an idea of how to apply it in your life. Here are the 5 steps to following your passion or passions. Number 1, act on your passion first. The moment you act on something, so here's an example. Before I finished this book, I had to write little chapters. Every time I had time and got excited about it, I wrote a chapter. And what the action of me writing the chapter is doing is sending a signal to the universe or your higher mind that you're listening to the ideas that they're giving you. I think that makes sense. So act on your passion first and foremost before anything else. Action is the name of the physical world. So you must act. Once you have made sure it's something you get joy in doing, then you act on it. And it can be small. It doesn't have to be a career-changing goal. Instead of watching Netflix, read a book if you want to. If you don't, watch Netflix. Then that's the most exciting thing. And you move through life with excitement, not anxiety. Number 2, act on it. Act on your passion as far as you can take it until you can go no further with it. Like if the excitement starts to wane or just you don't feel like doing it anymore, then don't do it. Something else will pop up that excites you. But be careful here. You must make sure that you aren't the one dampening it. If you're the one dampening your passion with a fear-based belief like, "Oh, I'll do it later," or people aren't going to like what I'm doing, that's you killing your own excitement. So don't do that. Number 3 to Bashar's 5-step program. When acting on your passion, you must not make assumptions to what the outcome needs to be. You must not, and I mean not, insist on a specific outcome. Your higher mind knows the best outcome. You don't have to know. You just have to trust in the higher you. When you insist on something, you actually limit the possibilities because your physical brain thinks you want this thing here and you're insisting and insisting, you're blocking what your higher mind has in store for you that could be 10 times better than what you were thinking. Therefore, do not assume what needs to happen. Just follow the steps, follow the passion. Every time you do a little passion here, another step opens up. You do not even have to plan for it. It comes when it needs to come. And that's called going with the flow. So keep the excitement, but ditch the outcome in your head. keep the excitement of it, but don't try to say, oh, I'm going to have this nice car. Think of having the car and be excited about that, but ditch what type of car it needs to be. Ditch anything that your passion is leading towards. Don't insist on it at all. Number 4, no matter what manifests, no matter what happens, you must remain in a positive state. And I know this one is going to be hard for many people, and it is, and it can be, and it was for me. It's like the more you do something, though, it gets so much easier. At the very least, try to keep a neutral state. If something goes wrong, don't give it either way. Something you don't like, the way to stay in a positive state is to use it as a lesson, something that you can learn from it. If something you don't like happens while following your passion, you must keep your energy high and learn from what happened in a positive manner. This is how the universe tests you. And if you can actually keep a positive state, then the universe will reflect that positivity back to you. Always learn from a loss, and also never see anything as a loss or a problem. That's a problem you all have. Many people have. Stop using the word problem and change it to a challenge, because a challenge gives you that spark that you can figure it out. When you say problem, right off your tongue, you're like, oh, well, I have a problem. That's exactly what you're going to have. You have a challenge or an obstacle, it turns into a game that you can make better. You can make this thing that I did not like very much into something better by learning from it and staying in a positive state. And that one is easier said than done. Let's just say that. So, number 5, always examine your beliefs. This is what people are afraid to do, is to look within them. They're afraid to find out they're like, do they believe that they're pieces of shit because people have told them this their entire lives? You have to be honest with yourself, no one else. This is a solo game. This 5-step program is for you and only you. So you're being honest with yourself. You have to let go of anything that has fear attached to it, which can be regret, jealousy, anger, sadness, trauma. Oh, how people love pity parties, don't they? Well, don't invite me to yours. I'll tell you that much. So, if it gives you anxiety, then that is not excitement. And you have to think logically. I think if you think something is your excitement, right? Or your passion, and you want to go for it, but you're saying you're getting anxiety from it, then you're mistaking excitement for anxiety, and you can't have those two things together. You go back and forth and back and forth. You really have to talk to yourself and listen to yourself, understand whether you're excited or there's anxiety, because they're two separate things. Okay, they're not the same thing. Remember, when you are really afraid, so let's say fear comes up, when you are truly really freaking out, about to flip out, that means that you are about to break through it. The physical mind will try its best to scare you away from being your truest self, which is fearless. The true you that only floats on love and positivity has no room for fear, because that's something that was beaten into us while as we grew up in this physical plane.
When you are the most afraid to move forward on your joy, the most afraid that something horrifying will happen if you do, that's when you're closest to the breakthrough. Because the negative belief, by making you that afraid, is using every trick in the book it can to get you to not take that one more step, because it knows you are this close to crossing the threshold and breaking through. So the more afraid you are, the closer you are to breaking through. And that should be your first clue, to know that it's just the belief attempting to hold you back, and that it actually doesn't have the power to do so.
That's amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is that simple. You have to trust me. This works. Now, let's put these together for ET contact. Okay, these are my experiences and examples for you to try to understand these steps, because I know they're not completely straightforward, but this is how I use them and this is how they've worked for me. So the number one was to act on your passion first, right? So before I had a podcast, I was going to school for writing and doing other things. I was making t-shirts, and that was my passion. That's what led me to this point. So some days I don't feel like doing research for an episode, and I feel like meditating only, or I feel like reading something that's more fun than like feels like research. But even though researching is fun for me, because I research the topics that I love, you don't have to feel like, if your passion starts to feel like you have to do this, and it did for me at first. I was like, no, I gotta put an episode out. I have to keep going fast. You don't. Calm it down. Go with the flow. Trust me. Go for a walk. Take that hike. We have nowhere else to be because time is an illusion. Take your time with things, and you'll start to see that things that you love to do will get easier and easier the more you do them with a flow state and not a insistent state. Number 2, act on your passion for as long as you can. So I just finished this book, right? That doesn't mean I'm gonna stop. I know okay. I know that I am abundant in creativity. That's just a fact. And I'm gonna use that to be abundant in more places. I already have a second children's book in the works up here, and I'm taking notes. But that doesn't mean I have to start writing it right now, because I want to do this. This is what excited me to do today. This is what excited me today to do. So you have to learn to find the passion. It doesn't have to be one. Where and when it's best for you. What I've learned for me, the beach. That is my spot of flowing, channeling, writing. And I can't type. I don't type until I have to. That's later. When I'm at the beach, just flowing and letting everything come to my mind, that's when I write my best. So you got to put yourself in places where you feel the flow come, where you feel the magic happen. And that's a part of number 2. Number 3, when acting on your passion, you must not make the assumptions. Okay. When I first started the the podcast or this channel, I had assumptions, right? And I had insistences that as soon as I start putting episodes out, I'm going to get all these people, all these subscribers, and all this money. And I really thought, like, just put it out, it'll come. For like a year straight, nothing. But here's when I was learning how this works. I needed to check myself, whether it's in meditation or just mirror work. You can look at the mirror and talk to yourself. That works too, trust me. Look at yourself dead in the eye and figure out why you're doing a certain thing. And so when I said, you know what, it doesn't matter anymore. If I only have one follower, if I have no followers, I'm doing this because I love it. And it feels like a journal to me. All of these episodes I put out, but I do have contact and I do have experiences to share, and I want other people to feel comfortable to share them with me too. So by the way, email me if you do have some contact with cryptids, extraterrestrials, spirits, and I can even walk you through it if you do call me, and I can help you. If you have a problem at your house, I can show you some ways to get rid of some things. They don't call me Dragon Paul for nothing. But back to what we were saying. So I stopped insisting. I stopped giving a fuck about what I expected to happen. I said, I'm just going to keep doing it. I love it. I'll do other stuff that I like to do and just live my life. I think a year and a half passed. And now I'm almost at 4,000 subscribers. I don't know how it happens, but I thank the universe for it. Now, back to number 4 about whatever manifests, good or bad, you have to train yourself to keep the most positive outlook of the situation. Okay, so here's a small example I have of maintaining a positive state. No matter what, it truly works. It's going to be difficult at first, but you've got to learn to do it if you want your life to be smooth. So at work, I wrote a letter asking for a raise. It finally came back to me and said, we can't do much. They gave me a little peanut. And I was like mad at first. As soon as I realized that it was triggering me, like Harry Potter, I pulled that trigger out and I forgot about it and I let it be. Then a couple of weeks later, one of the higher ups says, look, I know we just gave you a little bit now, but when your review comes up, we'll probably be able to give you a little bit more. And I said, cool, perfect. And that's all I really wanted. I asked for a high amount so that they can figure it out. And I could see, I also set the line in the sand for them because I wanted to see how much they're willing to, what they're willing to do for someone who does what I do. And I can work. As you can see, I'm brown to the bone. So we get down on work. And so everything's just working out. Instead of building friction into your life, with no matter what happens, just keep it cool. And it's going to continue to do that, but it's going to go like that. It's easy to say because I've gone through it, but when you're in it, it can get sticky. So just be persistent on your positivity. And now, the 5th number, always examine your beliefs. Now, this one's about being true to yourself and honest with yourself. I think this step to me means shadow work. Whether you do it through meditation or not, that's up to you. But I'm always contemplating, why is this emotion making me feel this? Why is this making me feel like that? And where does that come from? Where in my childhood does it come from? Why do I feel like I have to do this because of who I used to be? And all of that is fear-based thought. And the more you can knock that out of your head and always be healthy and positive, I believe that's what kept me from probably being locked up. The more I studied this, the more I just became a high vibrational being. And now, like I said, when you connect the CE5, connect your high vibrational thought process, which would be the 5 steps, and continuing to do the things that excite you, that will raise your frequency to a point where you will end up getting contact, whether it's through dreams, whether it's through synchronicities. I know you see the angel numbers. I know you see the 111, 444, 333. I mean, I see it all the time. So these are just markers that show you that you're following the right steps. When you see them all the time, it means you're in the right vibration at that moment, and to not lose that and to keep that momentum going. So, like I said, continue the high vibes. And if you really want to get higher, even higher, you are what you eat. I know some people don't care to raise themselves that much, but let's just say fruits and vegetables will get your frequency even higher, because it's not a dense energy like meat that has trauma built into it. And low vibration, it's dead energy basically. And so when you eat that, it does lower you. I'm not saying I don't, but I do gravitate more to vegetables and fruit. So that's it for tonight. I hope this really helps you guys. Please comment on things that I can maybe explain better to you with your specific questions. That will help me better help you to understand how this process works. It's worked for me. It's still working, and I don't plan on changing it at all. But I do plan to meet some extraterrestrials. It's funny, but it's true. So I'll see y'all later. You have a good night. Peace.
He won't release the list cause he's on the list. He won't release the list because he's on the list.
Disclosure is still happening with or without the government.
Safe travel. Well, it is moving, but it's just dancing.
Seek within.
Whoa. Thank you. Whoa.
Take your power back on Starblood Chronicles.
You see the